Hello, Abraham. It's so wonderful to be here today. It's amazing to me. I know, coming here today, I knew for some reason I knew that I was going to be chosen because my journey to get here was so easy. So easy to get here. So
good. Now get out.
Okay, appreciate that. I've been studying materials for about a year, and my life is becoming so joyous. It's every day I look forward to getting up every day because to see what's going to happen and what I'm going to create. In fact, I've gotten to the point to where I'm able to create, where I can have a thought and almost have it instantly created for me. To have it show up almost instantly, such as first-class seats on airplanes and some other things because I travel so much. But one of the things I've been struggling with is with my religion. And I was born and raised, a cradle Catholic, and I've gone to church every day for years upon years upon years. My family is very, very much dyed-in-the-wool Catholic people. And what I've been having problem with, is going to church every Sunday has become less of a joy for me because I'm struggling with, the concept between heaven and hell and those things. And, I'm not sure if I, really believe, the strict Catholic doctrine that I used to as a result of, studying this material and kind of seeing a different way, so to speak.
It's a big topic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's huge.
If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would not disrupt our life and upset those around us by radical behavioral changes. Instead, we would be the evolving being that we are becoming, and we would continue to reconsider everything from our eternally evolving vantage points. So you could be a very frightened child in a very big world who is encouraged to find comfort and safety in the arms of a church. Mm-hmm. And it would be a good match for you. And you could become an independent being, knowing your value and knowing that you are an uplifter. And you could find great satisfaction in uplifting others as you interact with them in any environment, including in your church. Your vantage point will continue to evolve as you continue to allow yourself to become. The thing that's interesting about most religions is they are very slow to allow themselves as an organization and to allow individuals to become, because they get hold of some ideas that were beneficial at the time, we imagine, back there somewhere. Mm-hmm. And then they insist that everyone hold rigidly to those ideas, whether they apply to your now life or not. So those points of vibrational relativity get dramatically distorted as you're trying to factor in what your life experience has caused you to ask for and that which source is agreeing with, mm-hmm. and where you stand. And then there's this other factor of what this particular body or those different interpreters of that body have to say about that. Anytime that you're factoring in anything that is outside of your own guidance system, you're setting yourself up for a more distorted journey. But we also believe that down there in the underpinnings of every religion was information that was talking about the very thing that we're talking about here and now. Mm-hmm. In other words, that would be a very good special subjects gathering for those events that you're holding in Texas. To have one on religion, and even have it on specific religions if you're wanting, where we could talk about the specific precepts that religions are offering and show you the way that they dovetail more than they don't dovetail in what we are talking about here. Mm-hmm. Esther is commenting often that she was not a religious girl, but she lived in a religious town. But it never made sense to her in light of what she was feeling. She lived in a town that believed that anyone that was not a member of that church was evil. And yet her father, who was not a member of that church, she could not accept as evil. In fact, he was the most kind, most moral man, as far as Esther could see, in the entire town. It was a town that was based more upon hypocrisy than anything else. She would hear what they said from the pulpit, but she would watch what they did in their day-to-day lives. And it invalidated who they were and what they believed for Esther. And so she went to the dances and had fun in the way that she had fun, but she never bought the religion because it never felt valid. It always felt bogus. And we say, she chose very well the town into which she was born, didn't she? Because her own life experience gave her the gut feeling about all of that, you see. So, getting back to the specifics of your religion. We do not believe that there is any religion that exists on the planet today that can guide anyone effectively. Because we do not see anyone involved in any religion who is able to tune into their own guidance, almost without exception. Even though there's a lot of talk about the spiritual world, and there's a lot of talk about having conversations with God, and there's a lot of talk about being tuned into the Spirit, and there's a lot of talk about your connection to all of that, we see very little effort made to really understand on a personal basis what that means. But we do know that it is possible for you to find that personal relationship with that which you call God, or that which we call Source. As you have done, you're finding that personal relationship, and we think that it would only enhance your relationship with any church in which you are living, because suddenly you're making real the things that you're hearing them talking about, you see. Connection to Source is an individual thing. Religion hinders that usually more than it helps it. Because most religions are more interested in what you can do for them as a body than they are helping you find your connection and becoming independently empowered. There is a premise that is at the basis of most religions that is screwy, that goes something like, and they don't say it, but it is really rampant in their vibration. Individually we are weak, but in numbers we are more powerful. And it speaks in absolute contradiction to what you knew when you came forth, as you know that every individual who connects with Source has all of the power of the universe at your fingertips. And there is no way you can use your power for evil, because as you focus in that way, you become vibrationally discordant to the energy of Source. Well, now we've stirred it up pretty good. What do you want to talk about?
Is it possible to be connected to Source and be in a religion?
Absolutely. That's the same thing as saying, is it possible to be connected to Source and interact with people who think differently than I think? And we say, of course, you be who you are and let who you are radiate. And so you could be in a religion who's frightened, and you could be confident, and you could be the one that is spreading unconditional love. In other words, you don't need to wait for anybody to catch up with what you know. Just know what you know and then shine it wherever you are. And we think in a religious environment is as good a place as any, because one thing is true, almost without exception. They're looking for something while they're there, you see. Words don't teach. You teach through the clarity of your example. And nothing would please us more than for you to be deeply involved in the religion of your choice, tuned in, turned on, tapped in, and radiating well-being. And have those around you benefit by that which they're learning from you, and give all of the credit to the church that you're attending.
Well, that's perfect.
In other words,
perfect.
Who cares who gets the credit?
I agree.
We don't.
I agree.
Just appreciate the heck out of them, and make lists of their positive aspects, and push not at all against anything that they are believing. Radiate the brilliance of your connection with Source, and together find insight. Did you find it fun and interesting here today, as we have on more than one occasion come right up to the limit of what man can think about a thought, and pushed the limit into a new place? Did you feel us together go into a new place? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so much more fun than digging up that old stuff and regurgitating it again and again and again and again. And so you can find new insights. In other words, there are all kinds of things. Now, here's something to consider. Do you know that there were practitioners of the Catholic religion that in times gone by were understanding more of connection to source than the majority of those who are present at this time. In other words, as religion lingers longer, connection to source usually diminishes because it works in opposition to independent connection with source. Because there's usually somebody that wants to get between you and source. And so you can be someone who can sort of shine that light back again. Jerry and Esther get many letters from many Catholic nuns who are applying the principles that they are learning from Abraham into what they are teaching, and are expressing their revelations at things that they did not understand about their own church when they were trying to look through the eyes of the church, that now they are looking through their eyes of connection. They are understanding more fully, you see.
Wow.
They're not opposites. We are all in this together. We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. You are leading edge creators. You know that? You've come forth into these physical bodies and you have made your way to the leading edge of thought. And we want you to relax as you realize that there's never a crowd on the leading edge, nor would you want there to be. There is such satisfaction into reaching into the new places. It's just who you are. You are surrounded by so many others who are in different places of vibrational attunement. And some of them, you are the next logical step. Some of them, you are far from their next logical step. As teachers, and that's what you are, we want you to know that it's not your work to adjust yourself into vibrational proximity so that everyone can hear you. It is your work to be as bright and clear and good feeling as you can be, and law of attraction will bring to you those from whom you will learn and those who will learn from you. Law of attraction is a very powerful thing. As we feel you and hear you and watch you, and we do, we have clear vision of all of the things that you've been asking for. And we give our undivided attention to the you that you have become. So when you find yourself feeling less than anything you want, whether it is relationship or connection or the receiving of benefits or of money or of abundance or of material objects, we never see you as you sometimes see yourself in the absence of the things that you want, because we see you as you have launched yourself to be. We are very powerfully that point of vibrational relativity. And we are, along with your source, along with that which you call God, along with that which you might call your inner being, calling you constantly toward that which you have become. And it is our absolute knowing that if you hold yourself in resistance to the evolution of your own being, you will feel dissatisfaction. And that when you begin listing in the direction of it, leaning in the direction of it, you will begin to feel more satisfaction. So let the way you feel be of infinite importance to you. Make the statement every day, nothing is more important than that I feel good. And then follow it up by saying, I'm doing my best in every moment to feel as good as I can feel about whatever's on my plate right now. I'm not asking of myself to feel the best I've ever felt in every moment. I'm not asking of myself to feel the best about this that I've ever felt or that anyone has ever felt. I'm just saying, I'm going to feel as good as I can feel right now. I'm going to feel as good as I can feel right now. I'm going to feel as good as I can feel right now. Oh yeah, this feels a little better than that. Yes, this does feel a little better. Yes, this feels a little, that feels a little worse. That feels a little worse. Yes, this does feel a little better. And as you, in these powerful moments, which they all are, just do your best to lean towards something that feels a little better and feels a little better. You will tune yourself to the vibration of your source, and you will come consistently into alignment with who you really are. And more of the manifestations that you've been waiting for will pop into your experience. That is a given. But even better than the manifestations that are coming is the feeling of satisfaction that you feel as you are leaning in the direction of who you really are. Because, friends, you will never be satisfied as a complainer when you know that you are an uplifter. You will never be satisfied as a blamer when you know that you are a lover. You will never be satisfied in feeling unworthiness about yourself when you know that you are worthy. In other words, you've just got to let who you really are call you back into the light of who you really are in order to live the life that you've intended to live. You're supposed to feel good, and life is supposed to be fun. And you're supposed to be surrounded by others who are loving you and who love life too.